Hi there everybody, I hope everybody is well. I thought it'd be a good idea to do a video blog today of something that's quite close to my heart with regards to health and fitness. You've probably heard lots of this stuff in the media if you watch the media and things like that, but sugar, and mainly processed sugar, is extremely bad for the human body. And I'm just going to use this session to just zip through kind of a top 10-ish of reasons why too much sugar, or sugar in general, is bad for the human body. And then at the end I'll follow that up with a few instances on how we can actually reduce our sugar intake. Please feel free at the end of this video to send any messages with regards to any questions that I may be able to help with, to help you either reduce sugar intake or something that's just not clear. I love geeking out about this stuff, so please feel free to do so. So I'll sit through this. I have got a little bit of a prompt to the side of this, so if you see my eyes wandering to the sides, I'm just kind of keeping on track in terms of the bullet points that I've made, just to make this video flow a little bit better. Okay, so number one at the top of this, I've got it can cause weight gain. That's a big one for everybody in the world at the moment. I mean, obviously taking on as much sugar as the Western world especially is taking on is causing higher levels of obesity and things like that. Based on the back of that, it will cause and increase the risk of heart disease. I think one of the biggest killer, in fact it may be the biggest killer in the world, is heart disease, and the risk of that can be increased by high levels of sugar in the diet. One thing that people want to stay clear of is acne. I mean, it's been a little while since I've struggled from that, probably my teenage years, where I had a big bout of acne in those days, but high levels of sugar just increase the intensity of that acne in people, not just teenagers and children, but also in adults too. Based on the back of all that sugar, it's going to really infect your insulin sensitivity, and therefore increase your risk of getting type 2 diabetes, which is something that I believe is you can get rid of over time, but it is not easy. So yeah, type 2 diabetes is something you want to stay very clear of. You'll have to have insulin injections throughout a day and things like that. Really sounds unpleasant. Talking about the big C, you know, kind of cancer, it can increase the risk of cancer. I found this quite surprising actually in the last year or two, but sugar and high levels of sugar can actually feed lots of types of cancers. So that is not something you want to open up to, really, is you know, increasing the risk of cancer due to eating too much sugar. It increases the risk of depression and anxiety. That's a real thing. I know depression and mental health issues in the world are at a staggering level at the moment, so we could probably reduce that in a lot of cases just by reducing the levels of sugar. It also accelerates the skin aging process, so having that level of sugar in your body is really not good for the inside of your body, and therefore exposing the outside, the big skin coverage that you've got all over the body. I suppose on the back of the acne and having aging skin, that is not something you want to have when you can control that by, you know, not having as much sugar in your diet. On a similar kind of ilk, there's the cellular aging as well. So basically the cells within your body are being aged and sped up, so potentially reducing your kind of lifespan, you know, from the inside out. One big one for me is it drains your energy. So because it's not particularly great on the brain, sugar in high levels, it can cause things like brain fog, which I used to have a lot of when I was younger. I didn't understand the reasons for that, but as time passed, I found that sugar was a massive issue for me. So generally having those massive sugar spikes that I'm sure we've all had in the past by drinking a can of Coke or some chocolate can be mitigated by you know, kind of reducing that level of sweet stuff that you're having, and therefore increasing your daily energy levels. It can also lead to fatty liver. I'll say no more on that. I mean, that even sounds bad, doesn't it? Fatty liver. That's usually caused by things like alcohol consumption and things like that. Just a few other little health risks before we move on to ways of reducing your sugar intake. Increased risk of kidney disease, increase in developing gout, which is an inflammatory condition, really something you don't want to have and could be quite painful. And it can accelerate your cognitive decline. It kind of increases the risks of Alzheimer's and dementia. I suppose on the back of talking about brain fog and things like that, that is one thing you really don't want to be suffering from later in life. Basically, so key headlines on what can we do to reduce our sugar intake and therefore improve our overall health. You need to swap out diet sodas and energy drinks and juices and sweetened teas for water or unsweetened versions of them. Sodas and diet sodas are just horrific for health and well-being. I will say no more on that. I'll maybe do another video in the future just on those type of things, but they're a definite no-no for me. With my clients, I basically spread the word just on those things. I just really need to reduce or eliminate those things completely. I would actually go as far as saying that's pretty much poisonous stuff to put in the body. Start to drink black coffee or use a natural alternative to these. Green teas are great as well. I drink black coffee every day. I haven't had sweeteners or sugar in them for a very, very long time. You do get used to it and you really start to appreciate the taste of these things without having these added sugars in there in the first place. Consume more whole fruits instead of sugar sweetened fruit smoothies. We can go a bit crazy on fruit. There's a high level of fructose in a lot of fruits such as bananas and apples, so just moderate those the best you can, but when you chuck them in smoothies it's just a sugar bomb, so just be careful on those things as well. Replace the candy and sweets with a homemade trail mix, fruit and nuts, seeds. If you can get into eating dark chocolate, I don't touch chocolate anymore. I've not eaten processed sugar now for pretty much 5.5 years now. But I do have a slice of dark chocolate on a daily basis. Absolutely love them. I make my homemade nut bars, which are super healthy and extremely tasty as well. A big change from highly sugared sweets and flapjacks and cookies and muffins and things like that. You wouldn't believe this, but in the store-bought salad dressings, there is all sorts of really bad things in there, not just sugars, but the kind of processed oils in there as well. So if you can get onto kind of a natural olive oil, extra virgin olive oil and vinegar, maybe with a touch of honey mustard and salt and pepper and things like that, and you can really have a very tasty alternative there. So swap out your cereal in the morning for more like rolled oats or poached egg on kind of avocados and things like that. The morning cereals, I'm not going to say all cereals, but pretty much 99% of them are really not good for you. The companies out there sell them as being a healthy version. They really aren't, guys. Definitely do your research on them on Dr. Google and just see how bad those things really are for us. Just a couple of other things. We can actually swap out the natural, the kind of spreads like Nutella and things like that for more natural based things like nut butters. Don't go crazy on the nut butters, but they are a really nice healthy alternative. My favourite is almond butter. I use that almost on a daily basis. So yeah, if you can get into those things, that's great. I suppose I don't need to tell most people that alcoholic beverages that are sweetened with sodas, your Alka-Pops and got loads of sugar in, agave, etc. Just try and minimise or eliminate those things altogether. They are really not good for the system. Just a couple of things to keep on top of then that will really help things outside of all those little hints and tips. Get into the habit of keeping a food diary. It seems a little bit pedantic doing something like that, but when you can reflect back on what you've eaten and drank, and keep an alcohol diary as well, when you look back each week or month and think, oh wow, I really did eat a lot of that type of sugary processed kind of food. I've eaten a lot of bread and things like that. Just a good indicator on where you are with things. And finally, guys, prepare your own meals if you can. Getting into the habit of one, shopping for your own ingredients, and two, preparing your own meals at home on a daily or potentially weekly basis if you've got the facilities to do so, is a game changer. It makes sure that you're in a really good place from a preparation perspective, and you're not drawn in by being at work and having to go get a Subway or eating at a cafe and getting all the nasty things that you don't know what's been put into them. Okay, hopefully you found that really useful, guys, and please drop us a note or a comment saying, yeah, this is great, or no, this is rubbish, because have any of these been easy to implement? Are some of these a big surprise? I love to geek out about these things, guys, so please message me on these things and I will try to get back to everybody to stimulate a bit of conversation that might help other people that are maybe sat on the fence just kind of reading through these. Okay, guys, I live to thrive, and I'm hoping you guys will too. Okay, have a great day. Bye for now.